keep finding ways that we're helping partners finding either, balance in their life or focus or purpose.
Practices that are going to help improve your project management skills or your finances.
We're here to talk about setting long-term goals and then how to achieve them.
Increasing your quality, therefore becoming the best place in town to work.
Welcome to the best moments of Academy Live.
Welcome back to Academy Live. Today marks the first day of Cybersecurity Awareness Month, which we'll tackle on another episode of Academy Live this month. But first, we wanted to make sure everyone is aware of it and it's on your radar. If you're an MSP, you might be thinking about using this in some of your materials, talking to your customers, your clients, just keeping it top of mind. But today's episode, Rex and I are going to take a little stroll down memory lane and reflect on 2024. Chris is out today, so it'll just be Rex and I, and we thought it'd be some fun to go over some highlights of the previous episodes of Academy Live. Today is also our 70th episode. Woohoo! Time sure does fly. We can't believe it's fall on the fourth quarter. Before you know, it's the holidays, and we'll be here in just a moment. So we're just excited for the fun and having a little time to reflect with this episode. Before we get all into it, Rex is going to kick things off with a What's on Rex's Shelf. So let's take a look.
What's that stuff behind his head? Frame photos and books he's read. Each one's got a story to tell, so let's educate ourselves on Rex's Shelf.
I can't thank Studios enough for putting that intro together. That was a lot of fun filming that. So I was just at the Academy All Hands. We had 38 people from all over North America in one place, celebrating what we've been able to achieve and how many partners we've been able to help and moving that forward. And Todd Shorley was actually having a planning session, a strategic planning session with one of our partners. And I ran into him in the restaurant. And so I went over to say hi. And he said, "Hey, Rex, what's your why?" And I didn't even have to think about it. It was like, my why is influencing people. It's working with the community and working with my team. And that's sort of a lever, right? If I work with my team and then they work with, each of them is working with some multiple of their partners. And then those partners are working with some multiple of the employees, and those employees are having a better day, and they're going home to their families having a better day, and their clients are having a better day, right? And that's all part of some little lever that I'm helping to move. So I'm going to talk about these awards up here on the shelf. 4 of them are Community Influencer Awards. Going back to 2018. This one happens to be from the IT Nation Evolve community in 2021. You probably can't read that. Let me put it on my dome here. But this represents everything that my why is about, right? It's being an influencer to help improve the community. So that's what's on Rex's shelf today to kind of go along with the best of moments.
I love that, Rex. I think it's so great that you have these accolades, and it's something that you're so excited about and so proud of. And we're happy for you too. We're glad you're part of our community. So thanks for sharing that, what's on Rex's shelf. Now to just get into the show, you mentioned last week we were all together with our Academy All Hands. Can you share a little bit more what that's about? What do we do at those meetings? Give us a little more information.
Yeah, from the very beginning, my Academy group was built of the best from all around the industry, no matter where they lived, right? It wasn't like we never did have an office, even going all the way back to 2010. We were always 100% remote, but once a year, it's on one hand, you could say it's expensive, but it's like the best money we ever spent, right? To get everybody in one room. And, we don't, like, we go out of our way at the Academy All Hands not to do anything we can do like on a Zoom or a Teams meeting, right? Like let's focus on the things that we do when we're together. And there's just so much praise of each other, and sharing the feedback that we're getting from partners about individuals, and recognizing everybody for the hard work they're putting in when they're creating courses or creating content, or maybe a coach is participating in creating an instructor-led course that Bessie helps deliver, right? Like, and creating that camaraderie within the team that just drives everybody to just kick ass. So that's the part that I just really love about it. Bessie, you were there. What do you think?
Yeah, I loved it. It's same sort of things for me too. I love to recognize all the instructors I work with, hopefully inspire more people in Academy to want to be instructors, get to share, get to learn new things about different people. We do some fun team bonding that we try to do in our regular meetings, but it doesn't quite land the same way as getting to be in the same room as one another. So it's a great way to share updates, to have chances to really sometimes things sink in a little bit deeper when you're in person, and you get to learn about all the new exciting things happening at PAX 8 too. We get to talk to our leaders who we don't always have on our calls. So it was a great experience, and I'm glad that we had that time together.
To hit on that, talk to the leaders, right? When they come in the room, they've got a different kind of energy, right? Craig Donovan talks to us about what's happening, what's new, where we're going, what do we need to be prepared to help our partners with, in the coming year. And just that there's a completely different kind of energy. And the Lane Brandon
Yeah.
came in, just love it.
Yeah, it's so exciting, and I know that we're talking about the future, but this episode is bringing us back to the past. So our episode for today, Rex, is best moments of 2024. What does that make you think of with Academy Live?
Oh my gosh. Like you said, this is the 70th episode, but I remember just how nervous we were, to be talking into the camera, getting used to. I'm looking forward to doing a show in next month about what it takes to put on this show, because there is so much that Studios does in the background. You've probably seen where they got all these feeds coming in, and they're trying to figure out what to put out on the live broadcast, and that's what's going on behind the scenes. So have an amazing crew doing that. But I think about that, but then I start thinking about the guests that we've had on, that like we're trying to pick the best of the best from the industry to come in and provide their insights and thought leadership to our listeners.
Yeah, it's so fun. And I love that you mentioned our very first episode. We have a quick little video of our first promo we ever ran for Academy Live. So let's take a look at that.
This is Academy Live. We care about growing your MSP business. Hi, I'm Rex Frank, along with Bessie Nolan and Chris Kaiser. We are so grateful to have this platform to share our real-world experiences with you every Tuesday.
Our show is designed to bring you topics and content that's valuable to you and your business.
The goal of Academy Live is to be relevant, be engaging, and connect with our partners and each other.
Each week, Academy Live will bring you special guests and vendors from all over to share their knowledge and expertise.
So when can you check us out? Live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Mountain, and on demand always.
Welcome to the conversation, and we look forward to you joining us. Wow, 70 episodes later.
I know, 70 episodes. Well, I love that, on that very first promo, we set out our goals, right? And they haven't changed. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It was, you can tell I still get that sort of feeling where we were a little nervous, or where it's in the same room, for me, at least I'm in the same background, but I'm like, oh, wow. But the experiences I've had since then have really made me a lot more confident and more excited about everything we have done with Academy Live.
I remember, Bessie, before you came on, that I did sort of a solo like trial run of what it looked like, and I remember Jen was like, "Oh, this isn't going to work," and said, "We need
I'm
some
sure she wasn't
co-hosts."
that blunt.
Yeah, and Chris and you, Bessie, have just been a phenomenal ad, and it just makes the show much better. So thank you, Jen, for saying what you think, which is one of the tenets of Academy.
She's our producer, if you're unaware. Well, we've got 3 questions that we're going to bring up about our experience with Academy Live. So let's take a look at those. So, Rex, our first question is, what is your favorite thing about hosting Academy Live?
I'm going to do my lookup thing. This is the thing I do when I'm thinking. I look up. I think my favorite thing is bringing the guests on, bringing in the expert minds from around the industry to kind of collaborate and bring that thought leadership. And I think I love the fact that the show isn't scripted. Like, we might say we're going to ask this question, but the rest of it is totally free form because it's a live show. And I think that's one of the things I love about it. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I would say getting to connect with one another and with our guests are definitely my favorite things about hosting Academy Live. I'm learning new things every day as part of this, being part of this show. And I love that. That's something consider myself a lifelong learner. I get to learn in the different courses and instructor-led courses that I manage as the program manager. But I get to learn so much in Academy Live, whether it's something about actually running a show like Rex was talking about, or if it's more about the content we're bringing on and the different life experiences of our guests and each other. I'm always learning something new. Well, let's take a look
Awesome.
at the next question. Oh, well,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is leading me right into the next question. What have you learned hosting Academy Live, Rex?
Number one, it's a big commitment to be on a show every week, and the amount of planning that goes into, lining up the guests and all the work that, again, our studios team does to make this happen is a lot more, way more than I expected it to be. But if you show up and you do it and you do the work, you take those steps every week, get the show prep done, everything's ready to go, you can put on a pretty good thing. That's what I've learned. Bessie?
I love that. I think that for me, I've learned about preparation. The more I prepare for a show, the better I feel. I think that can be applied to almost everything that we do. That preparation makes you feel more confident, more excited, and more ready to tackle whatever it is. But I think with the show, I know when I've done a solo show, like last week, I did a solo show, I did a lot of preparation to make sure that I felt confident and comfortable being in front of camera, talking for almost an hour straight to myself. Makes it a lot easier though when we have got guests and we can prepare what questions we're going to talk to them about. They feel more prepared when they know what we're going to ask them, even if we change it on them live last second. We like to keep everyone on their toes, but we still have some time to prepare and to think about it. And the other biggest thing I've learned is that it's live. Things happen. We've had some technical problems in the past. We've had things show up, and you've got to be able to really roll with it. And one show I was purple. I don't know if anyone remembers that. It was probably a year ago. My camera got all fuzzy and I turned purple. You never know what's going to happen, so you got to be able to roll with whatever comes with you. Even if you're prepared, you never know what's going to happen.
Love that. We have a third question.
Ooh, okay. What famous person would you love to have on the show, Rex?
Oh, this one took me a minute. All the first people that came to mind is industry people, but you said like really famous
Famous.
And I remember, I remember one of the first movies that I watched where it seemed like the tech was actually pretty accurate. Like when they were typing words on the screen, they were like the real Linux commands and stuff. Was The Net. I would want Sandra Bullock to come talk to me about what it was like to do a tech movie. And what do you think, Bessie?
I had a hard time thinking of this too. It was like trying to think of who would be, there's CEOs of large tech companies. They could be great guests. I think my first thought, though, was Taylor Swift. If you've watched some of her other shows, I might have mentioned her in the past. I think she is just such an impressive figure, and she's successful, she's smart, and she would bring a lot of viewers to our show. So I would love to have her as a guest and get to talk to her about her experiences. And even if it's not directly related to our clients or our partners, I know that they're going to have connections to her, and she might have some words of wisdom too.
Well, that's one of the things that I learned from Jen is OPA, other people's audiences, right? I think you would win on OPA.
Yeah, I think so. I know we have mentioned that we have had so many guests on the show. Not Taylor Swift or Sandra Bullock yet, but hopefully if you're watching this, you can give us a call. We'll get you on the show, no problem. But we are just so grateful for all of the guests that have been on the show with us. Sorry, say it again?
I said call your Cam.
Call your Cam, call your account manager and get them in touch with us. We'll get them on the show. And so we have an amazing sizzle reel of some of the great guests we've had on the show. They've dropped some great knowledge on us, some nuggets, some wisdom. So let's take a quick look at a highlight of our guests from the show.
I want to put you on the spot right away and have you do a humble brag. Let's tell the audience a little bit about you, and at least call it the humble brag. So about Larry.
From Miami, first generation American, following my parents' American dream of immigrating here from Colombia.
My claim to fame is that I made Chris Kaiser who he is today. If I were to speak for him, he would tell me that I am his source of inspiration. So
I don't know if I'd claim that, Zach. Be careful. That's not claim-worthy.
I mean, Chris, we talked about this beforehand. Okay, I told you the check's in the mail. Like we'll get there.
Betsy, I'd like to take the opportunity and to introduce Marcy Kaiser, who, yes, as you alluded to, is among many, many other things in her life, my wife.
I always kind of joke about this. Always be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. I wasn't able to spend as much time. I kind of liked the guy I married, so I wanted to spend more time with him, and it just wasn't happening because he was spending way too much time growing this business. So I volunteered to help the back office and do some invoicing. We'd get to spend more time together. That was 20 years
ago. Now we have spent a lot of time together.
One of the things technology is not known for is being warm and fuzzy. So you'll see a teddy bear over my shoulder there. The reason the teddy bear is there is because technology by nature is cold and scary. So we went ahead and when we created our core values, we're like, how do we get away from this cold, scary, ominous technology thing? And one of our core values is actually warm fuzzies. Well, what better mascot than a teddy bear for warm fuzzies? So that when we started the company, we actually took the teddy bear and put him up as our mascot, said, from now on, that's our number one core value. We deliver service, we treat our employees, and we treat our clients with warm fuzzies. And so that's where one of the core values came out of.
I think we need a segment called What's on Zach's Shelf.
I was presenting some software and a feature, and Matt Dreifeld of Scout Technology Guys in Vancouver, he decided to ask me to demonstrate it live, knowing that the feature wasn't going to work. And I walked through the feature and it failed, and everybody, cracked up on me. I left my mic on.
I remember the crowd was being really, really rough on you. Like unfairly so, right?
Yeah, and I walked out of the room and I said, this mother effer just called me out of there. And then everybody heard me as the door buzz open.
Sitting like by the
turn your mic off.
I'm sitting by the back row and I busted out the back door. Craig, mic's on.
Now we have the one and only Matt Bauer. Matt, welcome to the show.
Very fortunate to have a school, Indiana University, that I went to. And I was standing there with my mother and, trying to decide what to do. And He said, well, telecommunications school, you're a good communicator. Why don't you do that? Okay, so look, career was born essentially.
There's a lot of cool new things that like every 3-4 years, a new, kind of trend occurs, right? New marketing theme occurs in the space, right? Cybersecurity has been, kind of in the driver's seat for the last 3-4 years. Now all of a sudden, what used to be machine learning and is turned into AI, and AI is now all the rage, and that's now the fun topic of conversation for sure.
About 5 years from now, our management of what we're going to be doing as service providers are going to be completely different. I assure you there will be AI engineers, there will be prompt writers. There are already folks that are already establishing themselves in that arena right now.
I'm thinking about the book Good to Great, which I think is on Rex's shelf back there. But it's, they talked about one of the qualities they found in the Good to Great leaders is that they take credit for failure with their team and they give credit for success.
No, I just do it the other way around. No, I just thank you.
That would be the good speed get me, not the Good to Great.
Yeah. One thing that I think would help MSPs a lot, this can really go to any business, not just MSPs that want to get involved in RPA and automation, is ensure you have an executive sponsor. Bringing in an automation technician and saying, get to work and start automating, you're going to be fraught with peril and it's not going to end up well. Having someone who really understands the MSP space or understands your business, who can come in and kind of lead direction on which processes to automate, and is super, super valuable.
So what I just heard is even the robots need leadership.
Oh, 100%.
People that are tuning in or checking us out, give us a little, we like to call it a humble brag. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a Leo, and I like long walks on the beach, preferably when it's not hot. That should pretty much sum up me.
I loved seeing that. I loved all of our guests that have been on the show. And we want to thank them for all the time that they took out of their day. There was a prep call that they attended. They got on the call early. They stayed after to give us feedback. So thank you so much for being on the show. In that sizzle reel, we really highlighted non-Paxators who were guests on the show, but there are so many more that are Paxators that are part of the Academy team or outside the Academy team who have taken the time out of their day to be on our show. So we want to thank them for dropping that knowledge. Rex, what stood out to you about the sizzle?
Well, it's not just taking their time to be on the show. It's taking their time to give back to the community, right? And I was getting the goosebumps, but Amanda Glidden likes to call them the Rex bumps. When I see that somebody's getting something, a light bulb's coming on, or I hear a story that it happened, like they just pop up. So that was popping up. And Jen, thank you again for keeping that from us until we saw it live on the show, because you probably got the best reaction.
And I'd say the other thing that stood out to me too is just how much we laugh on the show and how much we have fun. And we are, sometimes you would think, oh, we're talking about dry material, but all of our guests are able to be so engaging and to really bring it to light so that anyone, whether you are more of a technical person or you're more on the business side, you can get a lot out of what our guests are bringing to the table. Now, Rex, I know you have recently had an experience with having a solo show with your mentor, Oli. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, I was nervous. I told him in advance that everything was fair game. If he had a thought, he should say it. And I really wasn't sure where the show was going to go. We only had a couple of topics that we put out there in advance that we knew we wanted to talk about. And again, I think that's why we keep these as live shows, is because the realness happens. And Oli hired me when I was 18 years old, as a favor to my uncle. I didn't know that at the time. And he wasn't happy about it, but he became my work dad. He helped me grow up in an industry. It was a brand new industry, right? We're talking the 80s, and IBM didn't ship the PC until 1982. So I kind of grew up in an industry with a work dad. And why don't we take a look at this if you haven't seen the show?
Thanks for having
welcome
me today.
to Academy Live for the first time. I looked it up. This is episode number 62. And I finally felt like the show's ready to bring on my mentor, Ole Thorderson. You want to introduce yourself? We call it a bit of a humble brag.
Yeah, first off, I want to say that the student is now the teacher. It's been impressive to see Rex develop over the years, and he did go from a lump of clay to a seasoned professional, but we'll probably talk about that a little bit later. To introduce myself, yeah, I'm Ole Thordarson. I'm the founder and CEO at Alvaca. And for those that don't know the company, we have two primary revenue streams. One of them is a managed services business. I could safely say that Rex and I were a couple pioneers in that segment years and years ago. And yeah, so that's part of the business. And then the new business that's really growing super fast is our cybersecurity related business, specifically focused on ransomware recovery, focused on right of boom events. So we don't even focus a whole lot in that particular business on the left of boom preventions. We are there to assist companies when they've been attacked by ransomware, and we've gotten quite good at it. We've been doing it for about 5 years, and we've worked some of the largest cases that you guys have read about in the papers and seen on the news and that sort of thing.
That's awesome. Let's go in the way back machine here for a minute. Tell me about how we got introduced.
Yeah, so it was what was it, 1989 or something like that, and I had a client. His name was Charlie. Super, I loved the guy, and he was one of my biggest clients at the time. And one day he comes to my little office in Garden Grove, California, and he says, "Hey, my good friend Tim has a son named Steve, and Steve later became known as Rex, but that's a different story. But and he says, the kid's 17 and he's bagging groceries at Albertsons. I think it was Albertsons,
Alpha Beta.
but at grocery store. And I thought, and he said he's really smart, and his dad's just concerned about him, getting stuck in a career at a grocery store. And can you talk to him? If you have a spot for him, that'd be great." And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh, great. Charlie is such a nice guy. He's such a good customer, an important customer. I got to talk to some 17-year-old about a job. And I'm thinking, oh, and I did it as a favor. I'm thinking, I can't say no to Charlie. He's just so nice and so important. So I don't remember how it got set up, but I get set up with an interview with Rex. And I'm talking with him, I'm thinking, well, this kid seems kind of sharp. And I got some work, I got things that I can do, and I said, oh, okay. So I made an offer. I think it was part-time at first, and I said, I asked him, to come in for a few hours per week, and I just gave him odd jobs. And he just seemed very eager, very hardworking, ambitious, great work ethic, and really smart. And I remember one night I had like 6 or 7 PCs I had to deliver the next day. They might have been those K-Pro KC2s for all I remember. And they needed AST6 packs installed. And they needed a bunch of 384K and 64K DRAMs installed. So I thought, I'll have Rex do it. And so I showed him how to install the RAM and set the dip switches and install it in the PC and get it all tested. And lo and behold, he did it fantastically well. And so I started giving him more and more work. And it turned out he just had a strong aptitude for tech. And his dad was a programmer, so that's not surprising. But yeah, at any rate, that was the inauspicious start for Rex in the tech business. And really, I thought he was just going to be a pain in the ass that I had to accommodate for on behalf of an important client.
Oh man, that was a great show with Oli. If you didn't see it, go back and look for it. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm a little flustered just rewatching that, but I know one of the things I really liked about that show was the comments I got about people seeing the younger Rex. I still had the hair on my sides a little bit, so I went and dug a little bit, and we found this picture, which I'm sure I'm going to regret. Look at that with the Novell logo in the background. Mostly a full head of hair. You can see how early it started receding, but I love that thin red multicolored tie. Check that thing out. My buddy John Coons, I worked with Oli, is standing next to me there, but that thing's pretty dang cool. So yeah, I'll look forward to the comments on that. Oh, what do you think, Bessie? Should you come back?
Yeah, I think that is a great throwback photo. It's so much fun. But speaking of throwbacks, on our very first episode, I think you're working on a Ford Mustang. And so let's take a look at that footage and see if there's any updates.
A couple of days ago, I was talking with one of our partners about working on their business, and I drew a correlation that it's really not that different than me working on my car. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing. I'm working my way through it. I'm spending a lot of time on YouTube, watching a lot of different videos, trying to take in as much information as I can. Then I try to figure it out, and I've been making progress. So I thought I'd take a couple of minutes to tell you about my project. This is a 1966 Mustang Coupe. My grandpa Rex bought it new in 1966. 1985 is when I got this car. I was 15 years old. So I am hoping to drive this around the end of the year. I do have a plan and I have a budget. Let's see if I can stick to it. Wish me luck. We'll check in every month and I'll show you my progress. Well, I did have a plan and I do still have a budget, but kind of like working on a business, it's taking a lot longer than I thought. I will say I am recording everything so we can get more video out of that. But all the structural welding work underneath is done now. I got a little bit of body panel welding left to do, but my welding has really improved after all the times I've had to redo things, which is very similar to us working on our businesses. So that correlation still holds true. Obviously I didn't drive it at the end of that first year, and I won't be driving it at the end of this year. But things are moving along. I'm about ready to set the engine in it, and we can start to go from there. So that's the quick update.
Well, I know we can't wait to see it as you continue to progress, just like we're so excited to hear about the progress of our partners and how they grow their business. We definitely want to hear more updates about the car. So keep us updated, Rex, as you learn more. Now, for our next segment, we mentioned at the top of the hour, it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So we have a special sales pitch for you that is going to be covering that exact topic. Let's take a look with Keith Marciano.
Play ball! Well, it's Cybersecurity Month, so we need to touch on the subject. Does your buyer even care about your security tools? The short answer is no, they don't. Let's put this into context. One of my favorite baseball movies is Major League. I've quoted it a few times here on Sales Pitch. The setup is Indians general manager Charlie Donovan is on the phone with Lou Brown, who's the manager of the Toledo Mud Hens, a minor league team. And his off-season job is at Tire World. So Charlie calls Lou to offer him a job to be a major league coach. Lou Brown picks up the phone and goes, "Oh, I don't know." And then Donovan goes, "What do you mean you don't know? This is a chance to manage in the major leagues, in the big leagues." And Brown's like, hey, let me think it over, will you, Charlie? I've got a guy on the other line about some weight walls. I'll talk to you later. Why is this the best? It's such a great blow-off. The guy with the weight walls is more important. How does this apply to cybersecurity solutions? We're selling them. We know what the tools can do to help our clients or the prospect or our buyer, the results it can produce for them. Well, what if the person we're speaking to, they never had a cyber incident? Usually we get caught in a commodity trap and we're talking about the solutions and the features and the benefits, and we haven't even found out why they would care. Here's a tip. The buyer does not care about your solutions, but they are looking to solve their problems and to minimize risk, reduce risk. So what do we need to do first, right? Today we're going to touch all the bases on the things you could do to determine what they do care about when it comes to cybersecurity. 1, how do they make and lose money? They obviously care about that. If you can find out how they generate revenue and the tools that they use to automate their business, which would be impacted by a cyber incident, now you're starting to pluck a nerve, right? We can start beginning having high value discussions. 2, avoid FUD, F-U-D. This stands for fear, uncertainty, and death. This is an old school sales tactic that doesn't work. You can try and sell fear, but you're going to lose, especially if they have not had a cyber incident. It will also repel the buyer away from you. 3, ease into the questions, meaning don't get overly technical. Ask them if they've ever had cybersecurity insurance and how much they have. Ask them if they've ever had a cyber incident. If they did, what happened and how did it impact their company? 4, create gaps and wedges, meaning paint doubt in their mind. If they have cybersecurity insurance, ask them to describe to you how they fill out their annual cybersecurity form. Then ask them, how does their current provider help them with this? Then finally, put the nail in the coffin and say, describe to me what happens in between those annual questionnaires. Now you can start creating a wedge between them and their current provider. I want to go tip 4.5. Determine how much they want to reduce risk to their business. They have spent a lot of time to grow and build their company. How do they want to protect it? How do they want to protect their reputation? This helps you understand their ideal outcomes and align your solutions accordingly. You need to find out from your buyer, do they care? Ask questions around the results your security solutions provide to see if they would even value it. If you need some more help on this, go into PAX 8 Academy and go into the Results Selling Framework Hub. Scroll down to the bottom where there's the Results Selling Framework podcast. I do 2 podcasts talking about how to sell cybersecurity. That will help. You need to provide the value. Otherwise, the prospect's just going to blow you off and they're going to go talk to the guy on the other line about a set of weight walls.
Level!
Well, thank you, Keith, for another amazing sales pitch. I think we have a lot to think about when it comes to cybersecurity and sales. Now, if you're curious about where you can find any of these sales pitches that Keith has been doing, you can find them on our YouTube channel. So that's at PAX 8 Cloud, I believe, YouTube channel. Take a look there and you'll be able to see it. Now we're switching gears to think about a huge moment from 2024, which was Beyond. Rex, you want to talk to us a little bit about what part you played at Beyond and how about your breakout session?
Yeah, I had a session that was talking about one hand up, one hand down, and our responsibility to be mentors to others in the community, but also find mentors to help us grow and get better. I believe we had a video on that. Let's take a quick look.
We're about to hear from Rex Frank on One Hand Up, One Hand Down, a template for strong leadership. Let's check it out.
Lead, follow, or get out of the way. I hate that saying. How about one hand up? Meaning you're always learning from someone or being led by someone. At the same time, you have one hand down, right? Meaning you're always teaching someone or providing leadership to someone and integrating that into the way that you work.
I was just in One Hand Up, One Hand Down, talking about growing yourself both as a leader and then helping to fill the void behind you that you somewhat create.
The title of this presentation is One Hand Up and One Hand Down, a template for strong leadership.
A good leader is somebody who's always willing to give a hand up and a hand down. You know, as Rex just talked about in his session, it was really valuable to him. I've also found it valuable in my career of having a mentor, having somebody who can help me with some of my challenges, but also in that teaching somebody else and being able to share that knowledge because we're just a little stronger together.
My name is Rex Frank. I'm the VP of Academy at PAX 8. My journey started in around 1985 when I got my hands on a K-Pro 4 CPM.
As a leader, you always need to be looking to someone you feel is more mature than you, someone to help lift you up. If all you're doing is helping people that you're lifting up, you're probably going to feel pulled down. I love that approach, the hand up, hand down, because you're in the middle, bridging the gap between the knowledge levels.
Other MSP owners were asking me to help teach their service manager, right? That tech they promoted to service manager, how to grow and mature their businesses. And that's why I founded C-Level Operations. We grew that. We worked with, at that time, by 2021, we worked with about 400 MSPs in these one-on-one coaching engagements, again, primarily with the service executive.
Before I learned this, how I looked at leadership was really kind of upside down, right? The leader's on the bottom holding up the team. And the leader doesn't exist without the team, really.
The bad decision, what I think is a poor choice, but it's what we all go to first, is we take it back, you say, you're terrible at doing that, they give it back to the person who's already great at it, okay? The good decision is to say you admit it to a quality curve and teach and coach and teach and coach until you have now 2 people in the organization able to do whatever that task is.
That was great, Rex. I was one of the people helping interview after your session, and it was great to hear what everyone was taking away from it and the big impact that you had made. I hope you had a lot of fun. It looked like you're having fun on stage while you're doing it too.
Yeah, I love that the Beyond decision makers, Dan Bodell and Rob Ray, right? They said you don't have to go on stage and sell PAX 8 stuff. Just go in there and help our partners get better at what they do so that ultimately they'll need to buy more from PAX 8 and that they allow us to do that. I'm leaving on Friday, actually, to go to Berlin to start getting ready to do Beyond 24 Berlin in EMEA. I'm excited to kind of do it all again. So that's awesome.
Yeah, very exciting. And yeah, we can't wait to see, hopefully take some pictures, get some video of that too. But we can't wait to hear all about it when you get back from Berlin. Another big piece that happened at Beyond 2024 in Denver was the unveiling of the new marketplace. So before we show you a preview of that, we're going to have Libby McElhaney, our Chief Product Officer at PAX 8, talk about the new marketplace. And here's a little bit of a clip from her talking about it.
Please welcome to the stage Libby McElhaney, Chief Product Officer.
I'm thrilled to announce that we have executed and are delivering on some big promises that we made last year. Welcome to Opportunity Explorer. This tool is like having a high-powered set of binoculars, allowing you to zoom in on the specifics, but also clearly see the bigger picture of your customer data. It's about optimizing what you are already selling. It's about uncovering hidden potential and realizing it efficiently and seamlessly. You could think of Opportunity Explorer as a business insight solution, complete with knowledge, learning materials, and go-to-market materials all packaged into one. we're not just helping you with the what, we're also helping you with the now what.
Oh, it's time. It is time. We've been teasing this the entire time. We've been building this up for the launch of the marketplace. You guys ready? Libby, we have wired this button literally to the marketplace in the cloud.
I believe it.
Don't mind the duct tape on it.
Before I do this, I just wanted to say a huge thanks to our incredible partnership and innovation with every single person in this room. And I am so excited about what we're about to unleash. So today, I am so proud to say that the marketplace of the future that was designed by you, for you, is available to you, our Beyond attendees, right now.
It's hard to believe that was like 4 months ago, but we get these monthly updates on how many partners are opting into the new marketplace experience. And some of those percentages this early on are pretty staggering. But one of the statistics is they say, hey, when somebody tries one of those new features, we're measuring, do they come back and use it again and then come back and use it again? Meaning, not only did they try it, but they liked it and they're continuing to use it. So I think that's super exciting.
Yeah, it really is. I want to share a little bit more about what the marketplace is, and then we have a quick video to show what it is. So the Pax8 Marketplace harnesses data-driven insights and machine learning to enhance our partners' business efficiency and growth. The new features include Opportunity Explorer, enhanced functionality within catalog, solutions, multi-cart, new quotes capabilities, custom storefronts, and intuitively designed interface to help redefine how IT professionals manage and expand their business. Let's take a look at what it looks like.
Digital transformations are changing our view of what's possible, what we can accomplish, and how far we can go. In the Pax8 Marketplace of the future, AI helps illuminate new opportunities, and your whole portfolio is within reach. You can go to market faster, work more efficiently, and accelerate your success, all with an intuitive interface designed to scale as you scale. Infinite growth is possible in the new Pax8 Marketplace.
Well, I hope if you aren't using the new marketplace yet that you check it out. There's a toggle that you can toggle to the new experience versus the old experience. So check it out. Now we're getting to the end of our show. We want to really focus on Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So we will be spending some time talking about it this month, but we have a little promo video for you. Let's check it out.
This is the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. Stay tuned for further instructions. This is not a test.
Every 3-4 years, a new, kind of trend occurs, right? A new marketing theme occurs in the space, right? Cybersecurity's been, kind of in the driver's seat for the last 3-4 years.
You got to start weeding out the customers that aren't good for your business. Those that are taking too much time from support, those that are, not adhering to your standards, maybe in cybersecurity.
Are there any other cybersecurity compliance issues that if someone's thinking about getting into the nonprofit space or they want to work with more nonprofits that they should be considering?
It's a common element of nonprofits of any size is that there's going to be clearly a donor base there that needs to be protected.
Our new cybersecurity stack has 9 different layers, 4 device layers, and 5 user and mailbox layers. So that landscape has drastically changed.
Cybersecurity is either an adventure or a nightmare. If you go this alone, it will become a nightmare at some point in time.
I want to share a little bit of history about Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So, since 2004, the President of the United States and Congress have declared October to be Cybersecurity Awareness Month, time dedicated for the public and private sectors to work together to raise awareness about the importance of cybersecurity. Over the years, it has grown into a collaborative effort between government and industry to enhance cybersecurity awareness, encourage actions to the public to reduce online risk, and generate discussion on cyber threats on a national and global scale. October 2024 marks the 21st Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and we're excited to bring you some content. Next week, we're going to have our show be all about it, so we hope you tune in for that. But now, it's time for final thoughts.
"70 episodes." That's kind of mind-blowing, actually. That's been 70 opportunities to take what we think is the most important thing to talk about this week and get some thoughts out there and share with the community and bring in experts. And if I try to think about the impact that 70 episodes has had, it starts to give me the Rex bumps. I don't know. What do you think, Bessie?
I agree. I think we have had so much fun. We've gotten to talk to so many people, learned so much, and it's not ending. We're continuing with Academy Live. And if you are thinking, I would be a great guest or have a great topic that I want our Academy Live hosts to cover, please reach out to us. We love to interact with you. We love to know what you're thinking about, what's going to be the main topics you want to hear. If you want to raise your hand to be a guest, contact us. We would love to talk to you about it. So our contact information is below. Please don't hesitate to reach out. With that, I want to just thank everyone for watching our 70th show. Be sure to check us out next week. Our guest will be Robin Harris, and we'll be talking about Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Remember, we are live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time and on demand always. Don't forget to subscribe and like us on our YouTube channel. Even share an episode that you find interesting with a friend. Rex, will you close us out?
Yeah, it was fun looking at what we did yesterday, but now I'm going to ask you to think about what you're going to do differently tomorrow to grow and mature your business. Thanks.